Okay, hi, welcome. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we are going to go over a free option to 11 Labs voice-to-voice conversion. This one is specifically for singing, so it probably even does better than 11 Labs when it comes to singing because they don't advertise that they do singing models. So it's still a little bit original and, best of all, free. A little bit slower, but we are connecting with an account that does not have any compute units. So I wanted to show you guys that it is possible to do it completely for free. Over here in this top corner, I clicked the drop down arrow and then I connected to a hosted runtime, T4. That's the free server option. And then I'm going to click connect to drive and click the run cell. I'm going to click run anyway because I've used this collab for months at this point and I personally trust this user, but do your own research and do what you feel is best. So I'm gonna fast forward this video and then we'll go ahead and get started once this is connected. Okay, just popping back to say it had a pop-up here that says permit this notebook to access your Google Drive files. So I will connect to Google Drive. This is not the Google Drive that has my main Google Drive, but for the sake of this tutorial, we can go ahead and connect it. I'll start with something fresh. I don't even think I have a Google Drive for this account. Sure. That's fine. Alright. Okay, so we are connected and the next part is training. And it says pre-process data, the vocals. Give your AI voice model a name. We're going to name ours Beam. Enter a path to a folder with the audio of the voice you will train. So let's go ahead and find a path. This one says content and data set. That's totally fine. We can right click on that and then click upload. And then I have Beam training. This is mine. It's only 45 seconds, but it worked fine for me the last time I tested it. Okay, it's in there now. It's got a .wav file. .mp3 works fine too, if that's what you have. And then we did this part already, so we'll click run. Success. So step 2 is easy, extract features. We click the run cell. I would pause this part, but it's pretty fast too, so. Okay, success. So step 3, train index. So we will click run. Success. Now the final step. Enter the name of your model. Again, it must be the same name you chose above. So mine is Beam. Choose how often to save the model and how much training you want it to have. The save frequency is how many epochs you need, are your checkpoints. So let's say that you're training a model at 400 epochs. We're just gonna do 300 today, but I usually do somewhere between, I usually do 400. So I could do 400 today. It's not the end of the world. It just will take, it'll take really a long time. So we're gonna do 300, but you could do 400. So save frequency, I always do 50 because I don't really see the point in saving more frequently than that. If I knew it was going to crash a lot of times, then I might save it more frequently. But it doesn't usually crash, so I'm not usually stuck using a model that's not completely done. But I think the benefit is similar, like if you're using Stable Diffusion or something like that for art, sometimes you'll find that something with less epics is actually a better model. And so you might want to use one that has less epics, which is all the more reason why 300 to 500 is fine to train at. You don't have to go all the way to 1,000. Though I've seen really good models at 1,000 too. So, leaving on settings. If your audio is less than 10 minutes total, you can speed up the training by turning on cache. So, it doesn't really affect the quality. It does speed up the training. So, ours is definitely less than 10 minutes. So, I'll cache it. And then OB2, I never saw an explanation for what this was. It was added recently, maybe about 10 days ago in the previous version of this. And I tried to look in this one up here, the original AI song cover RVC, but I didn't see any information. Tried to Google it. If I do find out, I'll post like an update in the description here for inquiring minds that just have to know. So the batch size, I'm not gonna modify it, but it does say challenges me if you know what you're doing. So if you don't know what you're doing, well, shots fired. This controls how much data per epic used during training. Well, like basically an epic is like your sample that you take. It goes through the full training model. And then for every time it goes through the full training model, that's one epic. So by us saying 300 epics, that means it's going to go through the training model 300 times. And then this batch size has to do with how much data per epic is used during training. So if it's set to 8, I'm not going to mess with it because I don't really see a reason to. But we will go ahead and click the run cell. I'll be fast forwarding through this part, but briefly I wanted to mention that there's going to be a couple of links in the description, and those links will go to a blog post that I had written about a previous version of this, which I actually did a YouTube video about that version and I had to scrap it because it was already updated again. So if you have favorite YouTubers out there that do training material and they have like those donate coffee to me things, go give them coffee because this is life for us. Everything gets updated, everything gets outdated, AI moves so fast, and yeah, so I will fast forward, but the link in the description to my blog, it does have more in-depth information into like the definitions, and it just takes you through the process a little bit slower. I wanted to kind of keep this video short, so if you're enjoying the video though, please like, comment, and subscribe. That helps me to grow the channel. I really appreciate it. All right, we are back. We've trained our model and now we get to give the Google Colab the file that we want our trained voice model to sound like. So we are going to pick our input path, and that's going to be our audio. But before we do that, we'll go over this transpose section real quick. So as this says, -12 is an octave lower, 12 is an octave higher. I've found a lot of really good results just leaving it at 0. Even when I'm changing from males' voices to female or females' voices to males, sometimes leaving it at 0 still has the best results. But you know, just play around with it. I just thought I'd mention that in case it saves anybody anytime. The audios and logs folder are inside the RVC folder. When I opened this up on a brand new account, I didn't see it there. So I just, in case yours is the same, I just went to new folder underneath RVC because that's where it told me it would be. And I put audios. And then underneath audios, I'm uploading the file of what I want my trained model to sing. So I'm going to put upload. It was a Lander file. Lander is a music samples website. And I had licensed something from them. So I was able to use that as an inference file. So warning, it says ensure that your files are saved elsewhere. I'm going to click OK. That should have already uploaded. So I click on it and then I go right click and then copy path. And then this part is important. Input path. If you don't have an audio files here and it says songguy.mp3 and that's not over here, that sample mp3 is not gonna work because it's pointing to something that doesn't exist. Now, in previous versions, or unless it's just saved in a different location and I happen to miss it, it does exist. So, but I ran into an error when I tried to process it, so I'm just going to use this because it says inside the RVC folder. This is the RVC folder, audios. And if anybody out there wants to tell me where I went wrong, so everybody else can learn from it, that's totally awesome. But in the meantime, this is a workaround. You want to use your own file anyway, more than likely. So here we go. This you don't have to change. That was just your index path for what you trained earlier as part of your train index, step 3. You can leave this the same. The audio's CLI output dot wave. This is where you want to name your file that's going to generate. I'm just going to name it Beam. I didn't spell it any fancy way because it said please don't use weird characters. I know I could probably call it Beam. I think I just started putting BEAM because I ran into a couple of errors, but here we go. Model name. We have to name that the same as our model before. So all these I just left the same. Transpose I'm going to leave the same. And this should work when I click the run cell. So I'm just down here watching here to see it processing to make sure that there's no scary red ink coming up and telling me that there's errors, and we get to listen to our file.
When I saw your face, I couldn't find the words I meant to say.
Nice.
Stuck inside myself and broken down in every single way.
Now, the really exciting thing about this to me is that original file that we were working with, that was not a singing file. That was a spoken file. And so it's able to take the timbre of his voice and then place that, convert that original speaking file into a singing file. It takes the timbre from the voice of the secondary file and it mixes it together using artificial intelligence. It's incredible. I'm sounding like the double rainbow, oh my god, but it's truly incredible. The end result for me, you only hear a tiny clip of it at the very beginning, is my friend Beam, but
stuck inside myself and broken down in every single way.
So that second one was my friend Dave. But I had Dave and Beam, and they were both helping me sing that song with the help of AI. And now you can have all your friends that gave you permission to use their voice files. You can surprise them and create brand new pop bands featuring them, and they don't even have to do anything. Isn't that amazing? That's the pinnacle of passive income if you can find a way to earn money from it. If you want to download it, it's actually already in your drive, but you can download it to your desktop by right-clicking it here, and this is our output file, and click download.
When I saw your face, I couldn't find the words I meant to say.
So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more, something I haven't covered, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to see what I can get to. I love everything AI, especially audio. And if you like this content, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.